But if I told you somewhere in this world there is a devotee whose deer could feel an ocean, a soul so pure, so devoted that Krishna even himself couldn't ignore her call. But this is not a story about devotion as you know it. This is about a kind of divine relationship so rare, so precious, that in all my years of sharing Krishna's message, I have never encountered anything like it. Today's message isn't just a story, it's a raw, unfiltered confession from a devotee that arrived in my inbox last night. And I promise you, by the end of this video, you will never look at your relationship with Krishna the same way again. But before I share this, I need you warm up. Grab some tissues because what you are about to hear might just break your heart and rebuild it all at once. My dear Krishna family, welcome back to Krishna Message Today. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because stories like these remind us why we need each other in this spiritual journey. You know I receive hundreds of messages every week. Stories of miracle, of divine intervention of Krishna Leela in modern times. But sometimes one message stops me in my tracks. Make me put down everything I'm doing. Make me question if I truly understand what devotion means. Last night, I couldn't sleep after reading this message. I kept thinking how many of us are carrying such deep pain. How many of us are crying out to Krishna in a way we never thought possible? This is one of the messages that changes you, and I believe Krishna wanted me to share it with all of you today. The message begins with words that seem simple but hide a profound mystery in 2024, but its base was made in 2023. Now you might think, what does this mean? Is she talking about her faith, her relationship with Krishna? But as I read further, I realized she is talking about something much deeper. She is talking about a spiritual foundation that was laid in 2023. Perhaps through dreams, through SL, through science, through subtle divine intervention that she did not fully understand at the time. You see, Krishna often prepares us for major spiritual transformation long before we realize it. He plants seed in our consciousness that blooms when we are ready. She continues, "Really? I don't know how I accepted Krishna as my brother. Did you hear that? Not as a god, not as a friend, not as a lover, but as a brother." And then she added something that made my heart skip because no one tried to be his sister. Think about this for a moment. In all our scriptures, in all our stories, we have every kind of relationship with Krishna. Yes, Soda loved his as a mother. Nand loved his as a father. The gopis loved him as a beloved. Arjuna loved him as a friend. The Pandavas rewarded him as their guide. But as a sister, this devotee saw something other missed. This devotee Subhadra saw something other missed. She saw a space in Krishna's heart that was waiting. You know how in Indian culture the brother-sister bond is considered one of the purest Randan Bhuj. This festival celebrates a love that is protective, pure and eternal. But who ties Rakhi on Krishna's wrist? Who wait for him to come home? Like a sister wait for her brother who scold him lovingly when he is late. Who says the best sweet for him? Who fight the world to defend and her honor? Subhadra realized that Krishna, who has experienced every form of love, was waiting for someone to love him with a sister's pure heart. She writes in 2024, "Due to some incident, I trusted him a lot." What was this incident? She doesn't say explicitly, but between these lines, I sense something profound happened. Maybe it was a moment of crisis where only Krishna's presence saved her. Maybe it was a miracle that defied all logic. Maybe it was a dream so vivid, so real that it settled the boundary between the physical and the divine. When I started trusting him, he made me feel his presence. But how did he make his presence feel? This is where the story becomes almost unbelievable. Like simply he became my world beyond my family. Beyond my family. Do you understand the weight of these words? In Indian culture where family is everything, she is saying Krishna become more than family. He become the very ground she walk on, the air she breathed, the region her heart continue to beat. He become the one where I cry the most, the one where I cry the most. Not too where, as if Krishna become a sacred space, a sanctuary where her tears were not just aloha but welcome. But here is where the story revealed a pain so deep. It explains everything. I do not have brother in real life before Krishna, wait. But then she says whenever I see a random brother and sister, my eyes fill with tears without even knowing, because even though I have brother, I am not lucky enough to experience his love. Imagine growing up watching other siblings, the inside jokes, the protective gesture, the casual affection, the fights, and the end of laughter. The psychological pain of having but not having, of being so close to what you need but never able to touch it. It's a unique kind of torture, and then she reveals something that makes everything clear. He made me to love beyond times with full of patience. Krishna didn't just feel the word. He transformed her wound into wisdom, her lack into love that transcends. But even with all this divine love, she still carries one desperate wish. I just want one word from him, that if really accepted me as his sister and was always with me when I am alone, depressed and so on. One word. In our age of constant communication, where we are bombarded with messages, she asks for just one word. The simplicity of this request holds such profound faith. She believes that one word from Krishna would be enough to sustain her for a lifetime. And then she reveals why she is writing to me. The reason why I am asking this video is to just listen to his word when I am lonely, to feel he is there for me when the whole world is closed to me. Have you ever been there in that space where every door seems shut, every person seems distant, where loneliness wraps around you like a cold fog? She wants to save Krishna's message for those moments, like a sacred medicine to heal her heart when the pain becomes unbearable. Then comes perhaps the most beautiful part of her message. I have so many to say, but one last word, if possible. Please send it only to me, because I don't like to make someone to listen the conversation between us. Look at this pure heart. Even in her desperation, she is protective. She is protective of her relationship with Krishna. She wants to keep their conversation private, sacred, just between a brother and sister. This isn't about showing devotion to the world. This is about a relationship so intimate, so personal that she guards it like a treasure. She ends with thanks for asking if I made any mistake. Please forgive me. I don't know how to explain our beautiful bond. She apologized for potential making mistake while pouring has hurt out. She struggled to explain a bond, that transhuman language. How do you explain the unexplainable? How do you put into word a love that exists beyond the realm of normal understanding? My dear Krishna family, do you see what happened here? This isn't just one devotee story. This is about the revolutionary power of approaching the divine with a different kind of love. We have conditioned to see God as distant, as superior, as someone we must always approach with reverence and fear. What if God is also lonely for certain kind of love? What if Krishna, who has devotee-like worship him, friends who joke with him, lovers who adore him, also yearn for someone to worry about him, like a sister worries about her brother? This devotee discovered something profound, that divinity doesn't always want our reverence. Sometimes it wants our care, our concern, our protective love. Think about your own relationship with Krishna. But unique love can offer him that perhaps no one else is offering. Maybe you could be the friend who checks on her daily, the child who shares your innocent joy, the parent who wants to nurture him, the grandparents who want to tell him stories. The divine has infinite capacity to receive love in infinite form. Don't limit yourself to traditional devotion. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, in whatever way people approach me, I reciprocate accordingly. This devotee approached him as a sister, and he became the most devoted brother in existence. My dear Krishna family, this story is not just about one devotee. It's about all of us who have ever felt alone, unloved, or unseen. It's about the revolutionary idea that God doesn't just want to be worshipped. He wants to be loved in every possible way. If this message touched your heart, please share it. Someone out there needs to hear this today. Someone is crying alone, thinking Krishna has forgotten them. Someone is yearning for a relationship with the divine, but doesn't know it's possible to approach God as family. Comment below with blue heart if you felt Krishna's presence in this story. But more importantly, share your own relationship with Krishna. Are you his friend, his child, his parent, his confidant? Your story might be exactly what another devotee needs to hear today. And also to the beautiful soul who sent this message. Your brother Krishna sees you, hears you, he loves you. And through your courage in sharing this story, countless others will discover that the divine is not distant, but as close as brother prospective imprints. Remember, in your loneliest moment, reply this message. Let Krishna's word wash over you like sacred water. You are never alone. You have a brother who trans time, space, and every human limitation. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. Not for me, but so you never miss these divine messages that Krishna sent through his devotees. Because sometimes God speaks not from ancient scriptures, but through the broken hearts of his children. Until next time, may you feel Krishna's presence in whatever from your heart need most. Ha Krishna.